Hey guys, so we are doing centrifuge wiring. So we got this, for you guys that don't know, we have this WVO Designs centrifuge that we put together in one of the earlier videos. I'm getting into doing the wiring and we're gonna get this thing set up this week. So I figured I would just do an overview on the wiring and how I'm gonna wire it. So I do have the cord, the other cord, but it's over on the other side of the shop. I'll grab it in a minute. Anyways, so I bought the variable speed unit. It does come with some instructions, which I would recommend reading. If you guys do not know how to do the wiring on this, I will do my best to show you how to do it. There's a few things how I'm gonna do it that most people are gonna tell you that's wrong, shouldn't do it that way. This is the way I've always done it. If you don't like it, don't do it this way. I will mention to you on the stuff that I'm doing that some people tell you not to do it that way. This is the way I do it. You do not have to do it this way, but I'll tell you the differences anyway. So this is the wire. I had some of this wire. This wire is good for 250 volts. It just comes in a encased piece, right? So we're gonna use this connector to seal it to our actual motor. And then the actual drive unit, this is the variable speed unit. I'm probably gonna buy a box of some sort, or like a case, kind of like, or something, some sort of a box to put it in. I was thinking of something like this, and mount it up on the wall kind of idea. But this one is not quite deep enough. It's not deep enough to do it. So I want to put it in some sort of a box so we can hang this on the wall. It's out of sight, out of mind, or not out of sight, out of mind, but it's out of the elements. And then when we're using it, you just leave the lid open on it, whatever. But I got to get something that's deeper or something like this. But that's what I want, something that's sealed, because it will be not outside, but it's going to be out in a box that isn't sealed per se, you know, leaks a little bit of water here and there. But anyways, that is something that I want to do. Just we won't be doing that right away because we don't have that to do it right away. So could even use something even simple. Even could use something like one of these totes, these big black totes, but the smaller version would even work, something like that. Maybe we'll do that just to get, I want to keep it, I want to keep it nice. So what we're going to do here is get this thing wired. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this connector together, get it fed through here, strip the wires, get it put on here. Now, this is the first thing that lots of guys will tell you that you shouldn't do, and I do this anyway. I like doing it this way because I've had problems otherwise. Most of the time with this type of wiring, you would never solder it. And for the reason, I honestly don't know. Let me know if you're an electrician down below why you don't solder this type of stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna solder these and then I'm gonna put a wire nut on it. And then also on the other side, what I'm gonna do is they call it tinning, but I'm gonna cover the wire in solder. And then when we put it into these little connectors, or actually this will be this connector. Yeah, sorry, it'll be these connectors. You don't have to worry about them squishing down really bad. But anyways, that's up. I've done this on this type of stuff. Regular household wiring, I don't do it on, but this type of stuff that can, the reason I do it is that I'm afraid that it might get pulled on or something, and then it comes undone, and it can be a bad deal. Anyways, like I said, most guys don't do that. So I'm gonna get into doing that. I'll throw you in a time lapse for that. We'll come back. I gotta grab the other side, which I have, cab tire, they call it, which is basically an extension cord for the other side. So I'll grab that, we'll wire that up. And then I'll just go quickly. I'll run down quickly after I get it wired, how the instructions tell you to wire it, which I already know how to wire it, but how the instructions tell you to wire it so that everything works. So let's get after it here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
right, so you guys see me solder that. Like I said, most electricians are going to tell you not to do that. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to do it, do it. I've done it that way lots of times. I've also done it that way not lots of times. So anyways, hooking these 3 wires up, you do not, the poles don't matter, colors don't matter, because doing the phase side of it, it doesn't matter. So hook up the ground, your 3 wires. We can get that tucked in there now. And I did end up threading that so that it's threaded because of the hole was actually smaller than that. So we had to drill it out and tap it. You guys seen that in the time lapse. But we'll get this cover back on. The wire's all in there. So on these controllers, it's really pretty simple. Like I said, it does explain it. But you have your 3 poles, so this is your out, this is your in. So we're gonna go our power, 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 and then our ground. So in our case, these 3 are power, or your 3 legs of power. This one will be our ground. So I am also gonna tin these ones, as long as there's enough room. Oh yeah. I'm gonna tin these 3 as well so that the wires don't crunch.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, doing the other side, like I said, this is in the instructions. You're gonna have gonna go L1, L2, you're gonna leave L3 empty, and then your ground.
Your input for L1, L2 should be power, power, because it's a 240 volt system.
Do as you may for your wire. All right, guys, so we're getting into programming this controller. I would imagine probably a few people have problems with this. Now, I've monkeyed with controllers like these before, so not a huge deal. But this is the card. This card comes with the controller. Hopefully you guys will be able to read that. Looks like you should be able to. Now, these are the specs in the manual, which I left on the desk, but in the manual, WVO did actually make a video on how to program this. The quality isn't that great. It's hard to see. But anyways, he does give you all the information. So all I did was just write it on here. So if you wanted to do the exact same thing, how he recommends to set it up, these are just how he recommends to set it up. So I'm just going to follow by the guy that built the machine. So pretty simple to do. All you have to do is go into program. Now, something to mention, this is a 230 volt unit, 220, 230, 240. So it's a single phase, but 220. Well, I call it 220, so whatever you want to call it. You can't hook it to 110, it will not work. But pretty simple to program. So all we have to do is press program. That's going to give us, so these ones here are all 00. So we're going to start with the first one, which is our motor base RPM. We're going to do that. Enter. And then we're going to do that, which is 003. So we'll go like that, hit enter. So the base is 1750 right now. We want it to be 3450. So we're just going to hold the button until we get to 3450. Okay, we're at 3450. So we're going to hit enter. And then the next one down, which basically just indexes you down. Now your maximum motor speed is the next one, which is 6,000. So we just hold it again. Whoop. 6,000. Then we go back to, so now we want to go to 1. So we need to go end, hit program. There we go. Because you had to hit display. Forgot that. Apparently forgot that. So we're going to have to go 1. So our base number is 1 for the next one, which is stop method. We want to make sure it's on ramp. So that one will be 0, 0. And it is set to 0, which is ramp to stop, which is what we want. The next one is going to be 1, 1. He put it at 6. It was at 10, so we'll turn that down to 6. Like I said, there's probably maybe better settings, but this is what he recommended, so I'm just going to do that. And next one is 1, 2, which is deceleration time. And he went to 10, which just basically puts it into the motor into a brake, basically. So we'll just do that. And the only other thing is he said to go to 8, so we will just end this. 1, 3, and that. So now we're going to go to number 8. So I think to get out of it, I think you have to hit stop and then it comes back to this. Actually, let's just try it here. So we hit program. If we hit stop, stop. Display. Oh. Okay, so let's say we're there. If we hit display, yeah. Okay, so you just have to hit display. So let's say we're there. We're on 0, error, whatever. Get there. So we're going to do that now, and we're going to go to 8. Whoops. 8, 0, 0, and we want to be on number 1. Enter. So hit display, display, there we go. Now, I believe that is still on frequency. We'll see here in a second. Yeah, we're on RPM. So this dial basically just lets you turn it up and down. So there's our 6,000 RPM. Or you can turn it down. So you can just hit the off button. Now it ramps down for us. The only thing that I'm just not 100% sure why I didn't want to wing it to 6,000 for very long, so I can't remember if I tightened this or not. Oh yeah, it's tight. Okay, so let's ramp her up and see what she does. She'd be ringing. You can hear it slowing down. So basically all now we have to do is we got this wired. We just have to get some hoses hooked to it and some oil in it and do cool things. So that's going to conclude this video for you guys that are still watching that wanted to see the controller set up. So we wired it and set the controller up. After you set the controller, you don't need to reset it. Something that I am going to do is I will be putting this controller into a box like I talked about earlier. I'm not sure. I got to find a box to put it in. Also, something I'm going to do too is I'm going to wire it so there's just a toggle switch. It's just a toggle switch to turn on and off. So on the outside of the box, it'll be a toggle switch on off. Because I'm probably going to run it at 6,000 RPM all the time. But I want to be able to turn it on and off. I'll probably put a light on it as well, just so you know that it's on. And then also too, I believe with this, I don't know if I'm gonna do a heater yet or not. I haven't quite decided. I'm probably gonna do a heater. Stay tuned for that video because I'll build one. Don't get me wrong, if you just wanna buy one, they do have a very nice one from WVO. Just a little bit pricey, in my opinion, for what it is. The one that they make is very nice, but the one that I'm gonna make is basically gonna do the exact same thing. It won't be quite as pretty with a controller and all that jazz, so which we'll have to mount in there as well. But you can use this to actually turn your heater on and off. And I don't know, we might actually put, no, I guess we don't have to put an overload because the, we might have to do a little bit of monkeying around because we'll probably have to put an overload. I want to put some safeties in there. If we're going to use the heater, we want to put some safeties in there, but I'll put on and off switch for that separately as well. So anyways, like, subscribe, hit me down in the comments, and remember, it's not rocket science. We got the centrifuge wired up. I was actually going to wait to do a run because I wanted to get it all set up, but I couldn't wait. So we got a pail of ATF fluid from 2 services that we have done. Now, this is going to be a good test for this thing. The fluid is not warm. It's not warmed at all, but that got left outside in the rain one night and there's water in it. So we are going to see how well this centrifuge takes all the crap out. This is just a rudimentary setup. We will set it up permanently, hopefully next week. So just thought I'd show you. This is just a rudimentary setup. You guys have never seen inside one of these. This is what it looks like. Now, this is the actual unit inside where it cleans. Now, this is an extra unit. It's a extra piece if you're buying one of these. I wanted the best that I could get by spending the money. I just wanted to spend it once, cry once. That's how I look at it. Spend the money once, cry once. So we are gonna get this thing spun up to 6,000 RPM, flip the pump on, and we're gonna see what we get. Use the winging. See what she does. Out. Hey guys, so I'm gonna shut this thing off because I've been sucking off the bottom of the pail for a couple minutes. So if you look right in there, hold on, let me get a different view for you here. I'm going to shut this thing off and we're gonna see what comes out of the catch because I don't want to overfill it, because if you overfill it, obviously it's not gonna work. It's just gonna be full of water, right? So we're gonna shut it off. Actually, I guess I gotta shut this pump off first. Let it run for a minute and just get everything that's in it drained out. We're going to shut it off now. Got, oh yeah, definitely a bunch of water in there. There you go, you can see the stuff draining out there now. There's definitely a bunch of water in there. So we'll let that drain off. We'll fire this thing back up, run out the pail, and good to go. I think likely what I might do is have some sort of a vacuum or a suction unit of some sort to suck the junk out. Nah, I guess you just have to shut it off. You just got to be careful if you know that you're running lots of water. Try to get the water off the bottom first. I had that in a pail, so it's hard to dump the water off, obviously. Just make sure, because if you overflow this with water, you're gonna get water in here. So just be forewarned of that, just to make sure you guys pay attention to that, because if you do, you know, obviously getting water in it. If you get it full of water, there's nothing that the machine can do for you. All right, we're gonna fire this thing back up and get her working.